Good morning. Looks like we're gonna have a pretty cool sunset. Oh, so I'm gonna hop out and I'll be able to shoot from right outside my tent here. Probably got down into the 20s last night. Not too bad though. I actually set up my tripod this morning and then in anticipation and then got back into my sleeping bag and fell back asleep. So this is a very dynamic scene, so I'm definitely going to be shooting dual exposures. Lots of beautiful color in those clouds. To my settings, I'm just shooting at f11, ISO 100, and then adjusting my shutter speed for my histogram. Shooting a dark exposure to expose for the sky, and then a lighter exposure to pick up the details in the canyon. There's the sun coming up. Now the sun's going behind some of those clouds, so it's getting a little dark, but I can see that the color just came and went. We had it for a split moment. It was really vibrant and bright, but it disappeared really fast. So I'm glad I shot when I did. I did stop down a few times to f22 just to get that kind of sun flare effect. And then when I composite those on top of each other, I'll line up the two shots. So last night was probably one of the hardest things I've had to do, which isn't really saying much, but that hike, it's about 6.5 miles. It's about 3,000 feet of climbing, but there's snow and ice along the way right now. The mud wasn't so bad, but the snow and the ice was pretty terrible, which just slowed me down, and I was already pretty slow. So getting here last night I was kind of at my last drop of energy, and technically this isn't my campsite. When I got to the top of the trail, I said, you know what, if site 2 is open, I'm gonna take it. Even though my permit is for site 3, but that's another 3/4 of a mile down the trail and another 400 feet of elevation, and I didn't have it in me. I will likely get as much rest and relaxation here as I can, and then pack back up and head over to the spring that's about a 1/4 mile that way, refill my water, and then I will head back on the trail. I was hoping on two sunset opportunities for this trip, or at least for this part of the trip, and I didn't get here until well after dark. So the only sunset that I'll get while I'm up here is going to be the one tonight. And while the views here are very nice, the views on the west side of the rim, which is closer to my other campsite, are spectacular. They face south and west, so I think there's going to be a lot more opportunity there for great compositions and just to get some grand vistas. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. But first I'm going to have breakfast and, like I said, just rest, relax. So I'm filling up this bag with as much water as I can, and then I squirt it into my water bottle to filter it. will rinse and repeat. And then I'll hit this spot again on my way back. I'll do this again. Well, I have obtained water, and that should last me until tomorrow. It is a pain filtering all this water. So I've got camp set up here. I'm up on the top of the plateau. It was very difficult getting up here. Lots of mud, lots of ice. But I've been up here for a little bit. I had a chance to put camp together and rest and eat some lunch. Sunset is in about 90 minutes. I did some scouting out and really found some amazing views at each of these ledges here. But I think I want to actually head about a quarter mile this way to the west rim of this plateau, the full west rim. This is really kind of the south view, which will be amazing for sunrise tomorrow. But I'm going to concentrate on sunset, and I'm going to head through this, I don't know, this kind of bank of trees. There's not a trail, so hopefully it's relatively clear. And right on the other side of that ridge is a pretty precipitous drop off, so I should have a pretty good view of sunset. So right now I'm standing on the edge of the plateau. It's about, I don't know, it's a really far way down. I've got my tripod set up here. It's pretty stable, though I'm cautious with the wind. And the sun is about to head into the golden hour. And I'm looking at an area called Phantom Valley, which is on the west side of the Zion National Park. It's an area that I don't think a lot of people see. And I'm really excited to photograph it. And I'm really excited that we have some clouds in the sky. I'm getting these really kind of hazy, almost silhouette-y type shots of the mountains. I'm really actually liking it. I may adjust them a little bit in post, but I just like the look. I adjusted my composition just a little bit so that I could come forward and get a little bit more of these kind of bushes here in the foreground, so I would have a more interesting foreground. Now I'm seeing the sun dip behind these lower clouds out in the west. There's my shot. Don't miss it. So now that I've actually shot that sunset, I'm gonna run up to this other area right here where everything has turned purple. Are you seeing this? It's still all golden and wonderful over there, but the color is here. The dynamics of the scene have changed, and I won't really need to do multiple exposures now. So I'm actually just shooting one exposure at f11 ISO 100, and this is at 3.5 seconds. All right, I feel really good about that, but I still want to photograph more over there because now the color is changing. It's gone from gold to red and pink. My face is turning numb. It's so windy out here. So now we're gonna go back over there. And then run down the hill. You might see me running around like a madman, but that's on purpose. This is the reason I'm here. This is the whole reason that I did that crazy trail, everything. I'm shooting double exposures again because of the dynamics in this scene. We didn't get that over there, but now we're getting it again over here, where the sky is much brighter than the landscape. My little no. I'm gonna get one last shot and then try to run back to my campsite before it's too dark. Now, back to camp. Beautiful. I don't even care if the photos come out. Morning. Fortunately, there was no wind last night. And after that sunset, I considered not actually coming out to photograph sunrise, but the better of me has decided to go for it. Not a lot of color in this sunrise, but it's still quite pretty. Getting some of the distant valleys. And then I make the trek down. I'm out of memory cards, I'm out of batteries, I'm out of food, I'm almost out of water. And it's time to go home. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for following me on this. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.